2,000 years before Albert Einstein graced this earth, ancient sages had already etched the universe's deepest secrets into existence. They carved them into stone, they wove them into ancient scriptures, and for millennia, these profound teachings were brushed aside as esoteric mumbo-jumbo. Then, Einstein arrived, and insight by insight, breakthrough by breakthrough, he inadvertently proved them right. What I'm about to unveil will fundamentally alter how you perceive both science and ancient wisdom, because there exists a connection between Einstein's physics and Hermetic teachings, a connection so profound that no university dares to teach it. This connection hints at something astonishing, that Einstein didn't simply discover these truths, he rediscovered them. In 1929, a rabbi named Herschel Goldstein sent Einstein a telegram posing a deceptively simple question: "Do you believe in God?" Einstein's response would become one of the most scrutinized statements in scientific history. He wrote, "I believe in Spinoza's concept of God, who reveals himself in the lawful harmony of the world." Spinoza's concept of God, not a personal God, not a God who answers prayers or judges souls, but a God that is the universe itself. A God synonymous with nature, a God that is the mathematical order underlying all of existence. Spinoza was a philosopher who lived 300 years before Einstein. He was banished from his Jewish community for espousing the belief that God and nature are one and the same, that there is no separation between the divine and the physical world, that the universe itself is God, experiencing itself through infinite forms. This is what earned Spinoza his excommunication. This is what branded him a heretic in his own time. And this is exactly what Einstein chose to believe. Think about the implications. The 20th century's greatest physicist surveyed all available religious frameworks. He could have embraced any deity. And he chose the concept of God that led to Spinoza's banishment. The God that proclaims the universe as divine. The God that merges matter and spirit into one. This is precisely what the Hermetic scholars taught over 2,000 years ago. They called it the One. They declared the One is mind, the universe is mental, and everything that exists is a manifestation of this cosmic mind. But hold on, before we delve deeper, you must grasp a crucial point. This isn't a tale of Einstein secretly poring over ancient texts in his attic. This hints at something far more profound. Something that suggests the universe itself adheres to a predetermined blueprint, and anyone who ventures deep enough will inevitably uncover it. The Hermetic teachings are rooted in 7 core principles, 7 universal laws that supposedly govern all of reality, and when you juxtapose these principles with Einstein's groundbreaking discoveries, the parallels become undeniable. The first and most fundamental Hermetic principle is known as mind over matter. It posits that the One is mind, the universe is mental, that everything originates as thought before manifesting as physical reality. Now, consider Einstein's revelations about the nature of matter itself. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, E equals mc squared. This revolutionary equation proved that matter and energy aren't distinct entities, but different facets of the same thing. Solid matter is simply frozen energy, and energy itself is nothing more than organized information. Modern physics has pushed this concept even further. Quantum mechanics has revealed that, at the most minuscule scales, particles don't exist as solid objects. They exist as probability waves, mathematical descriptions, information, mental constructs. The observer effect in quantum mechanics demonstrates that the very ACT of observation influences what is being observed. particles behave differently when under observation. The universe appears to respond to consciousness, to mind. Einstein himself grappled with this concept. He famously questioned, "Does the moon exist when nobody is looking at it?" He struggled to reconcile the idea that consciousness could play a role in physical reality. Yet, his own equations pointed in that very direction. The physicist John Wheeler later articulated that we live in a participatory universe, that observers are essential for the universe's very existence, that mind and matter are inextricably entangled at the deepest levels. Wheeler dubbed this concept "it from bit." Information as the bedrock of reality. Mind creating matter. The ancient Hermeticists wrote that mind is the underlying cause of all phenomena. Einstein proved that at its most fundamental level, the universe isn't composed of stuff, but of relationships, equations, patterns, something that bears a striking resemblance to thought. Coincidence? Perhaps, but the coincidences are just beginning. The second Hermetic principle is called correspondence. Its motto is arguably the most famous occult phrase ever: as above, so below, as below, so above. This principle asserts a profound connection between all levels of reality, that the patterns observed in the tiniest particles mirror the patterns found in the grandest galaxies, that the microcosm mirrors the macrocosm. Einstein dedicated the last 3 decades of his life to the pursuit of what he termed a unified field theory. A single equation that could explain everything, a theory that would reveal how gravity, electromagnetism, and all forces are simply different manifestations of one underlying reality. Why was Einstein so convinced that such a theory was attainable? Because he shared Spinoza's view that the universe is a unified, interconnected whole. In general relativity, Einstein demonstrated that space and time are not separate entities, but are in fact space-time. A single fabric that bends and curves. He revealed that gravity isn't a force, but a curvature within this fabric. The ancient Hermetic teachings declared all is connected. Einstein proved them right. Space, time, matter, energy, gravity, all manifestations of one underlying reality. As above, so below. But there's an even more astonishing revelation. Isaac Newton, the physicist who preceded Einstein, was a documented Hermetic practitioner. He translated the Emerald Tablet with his own hand. He devoted more time to studying alchemy than physics. He believed the ancients possessed knowledge that had been lost. The Emerald Tablet is one of the most enigmatic documents in human history. Legend has it that it was discovered in a cave, clutched by the corpse of Hermes Trismegistus himself. It encapsulates the core tenets of Hermeticism, distilled into just a few dozen lines, and its opening phrase, "as above, so below," became the cornerstone of Western esoteric thought. Newton was obsessed with this tablet. He believed it held scientific secrets encoded in symbolic language. He dedicated decades to deciphering it, and when he unveiled the laws of gravity and motion, he believed he had achieved partial success. Newton never publicly disclosed his alchemical and Hermetic writings. They remained hidden for centuries. It wasn't until the 20th century that scholars fully grasped the extent of his mystical pursuits. The father of modern physics was a secret mystic. Einstein, working purely through mathematics and physics, arrived at conclusions that parallel Newton's secret studies. Both saw the universe as a unified whole, governed by hidden laws. Both believed reality was more mysterious than it appeared. Both glimpsed the same truth from different angles. The third Hermetic principle is vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. everything vibrates. The sages taught that all matter, from the densest metal to the most ethereal spirit, is in constant motion. The only difference is the rate of vibration. 3 years before the Kybalion was published in 1908, Einstein released his paper on special relativity in 1905. This paper showed that energy and mass are interchangeable. That solid matter is just concentrated energy, and energy is just vibration, oscillation, movement. The Hermetic scholars said everything is vibration over 2,000 years ago. Einstein proved it with equations. Atoms are not solid balls. They are mostly empty space, with particles vibrating at incredible speeds. What feels solid to your touch is actually 99.9999% emptiness, held together by electromagnetic vibrations. Your hand does not actually touch anything. When you feel a surface, what you are experiencing is electromagnetic repulsion between the electrons in your hand and the electrons in the object. You have never truly touched anything in your life. Everything is vibration, interacting with vibration. String theory, the leading candidate for a theory of everything, takes this even further. It proposes that the fundamental building blocks of reality are not particles at all. They are tiny, vibrating strings of energy. Different vibrations create different particles. The universe is literally a symphony of vibrations, music at the smallest scales. The Hermeticists said this thousands of years ago. They called it the music of the spheres. They said the universe vibrates in harmony. And now physics is saying the same thing with mathematics. Did the ancients know this? Or did they guess? Either way, they were right. The fourth Hermetic principle is polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. But, and this is crucial, the opposites are identical in nature, differing only in degree. Consider Einstein's insights on space and time. Before Einstein, we thought space and time were completely different things. Space was where things exist. Time was when things happen. Totally separate categories. Einstein showed they are the same thing on different ends of a spectrum. Space-time. Move faster through space and you move slower through time. They are poles of the same underlying reality, opposites that are actually identical in nature. Exactly what the Hermetic principle of polarity describes. Hot and cold are not different things. They are different degrees of temperature. Light and dark are not different things. They are different degrees of the same electromagnetic spectrum. Space and time are not different things. They are different aspects of space-time. The sages understood this. They wrote that all truths are but half-truths, and all paradoxes may be reconciled. Einstein reconciled the paradox of space and time. He showed they were never separate to begin with. But here is where things get truly strange. Here is where you need to pay close attention. Einstein wrote an essay in 1954 about what he called cosmic religious feeling. He described it as a profound sense of awe at the mysterious structure of the universe, a feeling that the rational laws governing reality are themselves a kind of miracle. This, Einstein said, was the highest religious experience a human could have. The Hermetic scholars called this same experience gnosis, direct knowledge of the divine through understanding the universe. They taught that the cosmos itself is the body of God, that studying nature is a form of worship, that the scientist and the mystic are walking the same path from different directions. Einstein separated himself from what he called fanatical atheists. He said they could not hear the music of the spheres. This phrase, music of the spheres, comes directly from ancient Greek and Hermetic philosophy. It refers to the idea that the movements of celestial bodies create a cosmic harmony. a mathematical music that underlies all existence. Einstein was using Hermetic language to describe his own experience, whether he knew it or not. Now, you might be thinking, this is all very interesting, but maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe Einstein was just a genius who happened to discover truths that the ancients guessed at. Maybe there is no real connection. But consider this. Einstein worked on his unified field theory until the day he died. He believed, with absolute conviction, that there was a single equation underlying all of reality. He believed the universe was fundamentally simple, beautiful, and comprehensible. He believed, in his words, that God does not play dice with the universe. Where did this conviction come from? Not from the evidence of his time. Quantum mechanics was showing the universe to be random and probabilistic. Other physicists were telling Einstein he was wrong, that there was no hidden order, that randomness was fundamental. Einstein refused to accept this. He spent 30 years searching for a theory most of his colleagues thought was impossible. Why? Because Einstein was not just doing physics. He was pursuing a mystical quest. He was seeking the face of God in the equations. He was trying to prove what the ancients already knew, that the universe is a unified whole, that mind and matter are one, that as above, so below. Einstein developed his theories through what he called thought experiments. He would imagine himself riding on a beam of light. He would visualize what would happen if an elevator fell freely through space. He would picture clocks and trains moving at impossible speeds. These thought experiments were not calculations. They were acts of imagination, acts of mental visualization. Einstein saw the truth before he proved it. He intuited the answers before he found the equations. His method was closer to meditation than mathematics. The Hermetic scholars practiced something similar. They called it contemplation, deep visualization of cosmic truths, seeing the universe from the perspective of the One. Einstein may not have known about these practices, but he was doing the same thing, using mind to understand matter, using imagination to grasp reality. Einstein wrote that everyone who is seriously involved in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that a spirit is manifest in the laws of the universe, a spirit vastly superior to that of man, and one in the face of which we, with our modest powers, must feel humble, a spirit manifest in the laws. The Hermetic scholars called this spirit the One. Spinoza called it God or nature. Einstein called it the lawful harmony of the world. Different words, same reality. There's something else you need to understand about Einstein that almost nobody talks about. In a 1921 letter, Einstein wrote critically about what he called the mystical trend of our present time, showing itself especially in the exuberant growth of so-called theosophy and spiritualism. On the surface, this seems to distance Einstein from mysticism, but look closer. Einstein wasn't rejecting mystical experience. He was rejecting false mysticism, cheap spiritualism, the kind of mysticism that doesn't require deep study and contemplation. True mysticism in the Hermetic tradition isn't about seances and crystals. It's about understanding the deep structure of reality. It's about mathematics as a path to God. It's about seeing the equations and recognizing them as scripture. This is exactly what Einstein practiced. His mysticism wasn't irrational. It was super-rational. He sought God through physics because he believed physics was the language of creation. The Hermetic teaching says, the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. You cannot approach the truth casually. You must prepare yourself. You must study. You must think. Only then will the mysteries reveal themselves. Einstein spent years on single problems. He struggled with contradictions that would have broken lesser minds. And when he finally saw the truth, when he finally grasped relativity, he described it as the happiest thought of his life, a moment of illumination, a gnosis. He was working in a patent office when it happened, not in a university, not with other scientists, alone, thinking, contemplating, and suddenly he saw. He understood that gravity and acceleration are the same thing, that space and time are woven together, that the universe is far stranger than anyone imagined. This is how mystics describe enlightenment: a sudden flash of understanding, a moment when everything becomes clear, when the pieces fall into place, when truth reveals itself not through calculation, but through insight. Einstein experienced this multiple times: the photoelectric effect, special relativity, general relativity. Each one came as a revelation. Each one felt like receiving knowledge rather than discovering it, as if the universe wanted to be understood and chose him as the vessel. But there's one more thing, one more connection that I've saved for this moment, and it is perhaps the most profound of all. The Hermetic teachings say that the universe moves in rhythms, that everything flows in and out, that the pendulum swing manifests in everything. This is the fifth principle, called rhythm. Einstein discovered that time itself is not absolute. It flows differently depending on speed and gravity. Time near a black hole moves slower than time far away. Time for someone moving at near light speed moves slower than time for someone standing still. Time has rhythm. Time ebbs and flows. The sages said this. Einstein proved it. They also taught that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The sixth principle, cause and effect. Isaac Newton formalized this into his laws of motion. Einstein extended it into relativistic physics. The sages already knew. And the seventh principle, gender. The Hermetic scholars taught that gender is in everything, that everything has masculine and feminine aspects, that creation requires the interaction of opposites. In physics, we call this positive and negative charges, particles and antiparticles, matter and antimatter. The dance of opposites that creates everything we see. When the universe began in the Big Bang, equal amounts of matter and antimatter should have been created. They should have annihilated each other completely. Nothing should exist. Yet here we are. Something tipped the balance. Something favored matter over antimatter. Something allowed creation to happen. The Hermetic scholars said that gender is the creative principle, that the masculine and feminine energies combine to produce all manifestation, that without this polarity, nothing can be born. Physics discovered the same truth. Without the slight imbalance between matter and antimatter, there would be no stars, no planets, no life. The dance of opposites creates everything. Every Hermetic principle finds its echo in modern physics. Every ancient teaching has been validated by insight. Either the sages were incredibly lucky guessers, or they knew something we are only now rediscovering. You have just learned what universities will never teach, what textbooks will never mention, what the official history of science carefully omits. Einstein, the greatest physicist of the 20th century, arrived at conclusions that mirror teachings from the Emerald Tablet and the Hermetic texts. He used the language of mathematics instead of mythology. But the truth he found was the same truth the sages knew. The one is mental. Everything vibrates. As above, so below. All is one. Einstein knew this, and now you know it too. The question is, why don't they want you to make this connection? Why is Einstein's spiritual philosophy kept separate from his physics in every classroom? Why do they teach you E equals mc squared, but never mention that Einstein believed in Spinoza's concept of God? Every physics student learns Einstein's equations. Almost none of them learn about his cosmic religious feeling. They learn about space-time curvature, but not about Spinoza's concept of God. They learn about the photoelectric effect, but not about the music of the spheres. This is not an accident. The modern scientific establishment has worked hard to separate science from spirituality, to present physics as purely mechanical, to erase any hint that the universe might have meaning or purpose. But Einstein did not see it that way. He saw beauty in the equations. He saw design in the laws. He saw something that he could only call divine in the mathematical order of reality. Because if you realize that ancient wisdom and modern physics point to the same truth, you might start questioning everything else they told you. You might start looking for connections they don't want you to see. You might start thinking for yourself. And that is the most dangerous thing of all. You are not like most people. You are watching this video because something inside you knows that the official story is incomplete. You sense that there is more to reality than what they teach in schools. You feel it. That feeling is what Einstein called cosmic religious feeling. That intuition is what the Hermetic scholars called gnosis. It is the voice of truth, whispering through the noise of lies. Trust that voice. Follow it deeper, because the more you learn, the more you will see. And once you see, you cannot unsee. You cannot go back to ignorance. The sages knew it. Einstein proved it. And now, you are among the privileged few who grasp the connection. If this video has opened your eyes, if it has revealed something you'd never considered before, then I urge you to do one thing. Share this knowledge, not for more views, but because truth flourishes when shared, and this truth has been suppressed for far too long. The link between ancient wisdom and modern science is not a mere coincidence. It's a pattern unveiling something fundamental about reality itself, a pattern they desperately don't want you to perceive. Why? Because once you perceive this pattern, you can never unsee it. Once you acknowledge that the sages understood things we're only now rediscovering, you begin to wonder, what else did they know? What else has been concealed? What else is waiting to be remembered? But you saw it, and that makes you different. Einstein once penned that the most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the very cradle of true art and true science. You have just touched that mystery. The mystery that binds Hermes Trismegistus to Albert Einstein. The mystery that connects the emerald tablet to E equals mc squared. The mystery that suggests the universe has been patiently waiting for us to remember what we already innately know. 2 millennia separate the Hermetic scholars from Einstein. Different languages, different cultures, different methodologies. Yet they converged upon the same core truths. The one, mind over matter reigns supreme. Everything vibrates with energy. As above, so below. This cannot be dismissed as mere happenstance. This is the universe, revealing its profound secrets to those who delve deep enough. This is truth, echoing across the ages. This is what transpires when a human being opens their eyes and truly sees. Einstein saw it, Newton saw it, the sages saw it, and now you are beginning to see it too. Remember it, explore it relentlessly, and never stop questioning what they tell you is the unequivocal truth, because the truth is ancient, far older than they want you to believe. And it has been hiding in plain sight all along, patiently waiting for you to uncover it.